805 edition of Friedman Adventures. We're going to go on up to Ventura Sport Fishing, jump on board the Island Spirit. Captain Daniel Hadawi is standing by. Daniel, how are you, my friend?
Doing really well, Phil. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm ready to rock and roll. I want to see some fish being caught on the Island Spirit again because your last few trips have been good. I know you had a little weather issue on your last trip, but you still managed a nice catch. It was really good, and it sounds like the forecast now is for the weather to start getting better and better and better. Do I have that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at the forecast later into the week, all the way through the weekend, it looks really nice. Looks like it's getting better. Water seems to be warming up a tad bit as we get into May here, so we're excited for what that's going to bring. Hopefully we get our May and late spring, summer style fishing here pretty soon.
What would that be like for people who are new to the game when you talk about spring and summer type fishing? What kind of species are you talking about moving in a normal year?
Yeah, so most of the times we see a lot of like sand bass, barracuda, calico bass, and then possibly sea bass, yellowtail, more halibut in the count, stuff like that. So we're really looking forward to that.
You know, I've seen barracuda down in Ensenada. I saw it down on the half day boat out of San Diego. There was some barracuda caught up in Santa Barbara. Man, it's just
Mhm.
hopscotching all over the place right now. So it just tells me that it's about ready to happen.
Yeah, our water is getting a little warmer.
All right, we lost most of that, but I'm pretty sure you said it was a few degrees warmer, the water temperature, right? All right, very good. That sounds really good to me. Is it up over 60 degrees yet or getting close to it? All right, very good. Let's see. We've got Robert Graber saying, "Good afternoon, Phil and Captain Daniel." He's all over the 805 reports, man. He really loves the 805 reports. So, what's the immediate plan? When are you going to be? Yeah, and Daniel, I think it's important to emphasize how hard it is to get on a trip with Tucker McCombs because at some point here, I don't know when it is, in the next couple weeks, he'll just be chartered for the rest of the year. He had a day of limit to white sea bass here recently, so that would be something that, man, I'm glad you brought that up. Hey, we're having trouble hearing you for some reason. I don't know if you want to re-add. Frank Moreno says he can't hear you, and I know you're. I can see you're frozen on the screen. So you want to hit the X and then re-add? Do you want to try that, Daniel? I think Daniel has left us for 1 minute, everybody. I'll just bring you up to date on what I've been hearing today. And whoa, I knocked a chair over here. That's what that was. Daniel's going to re-add here in a second. And there he is. Hey, let's see
All
if we
right,
can hear you now. How's that,
can you hear me
everybody?
now? Is
I
that
can hear
good?
you perfectly. That's
All
much
right,
better.
sweet. Right on.
Yeah, so anyway, maybe you should reiterate. We have a trip with Tucker McCombs going tonight, 3 spots open, right?
Yes, I'm not sure if there's still 3 spots, but I checked about an hour ago, looked at the schedule, there's 3 spots. So you can check it out at venturasportfishing.com or call the landing,
Oh,
805-676-3474.
all right, perfect. And also, we were talking weather, and it looks like it's set to improve.
Yeah, definitely. Tomorrow looks pretty nice, and then the coming days going into the weekend looks really nice. Weekend looks beautiful, so we're excited about that.
All right, and I don't know who could or who could not hear you, but just one more time again, you were saying that the water temp's getting to the point where we might see springtime, summer type fishing, and that's going to be barracuda, yellowtail, sand bass, calico bass, maybe some white sea bass. Do I have that right?
Absolutely. Yeah. We just it's really encouraging to see the water temperature climbing like this early in May. It just kind of sets up us for being able to fish more surface stuff and kind of get a greater variety of species in our fish counts in the coming weeks, hopefully.
All right, good stuff. Hey, Daniel, Chad G wants to know how many people you need to go out on Saturday.
If we get like 10, 12 reservations, we can make it a go.
All right, there you go, Chad. Make one of those reservations right now so you can join Daniel. How's fishing been here the last week or so? The times you've been out, what have you seen, Daniel?
Yeah, well, we primarily focused on rock fishing. 2 trips ago, we had a full boat. We had almost 50 people on here, so kind of just went shallow water rock fishing, and it was biting really good. We had nice conditions. We were able to have people fishing on both sides of the boat without tangling each other, and we threw up almost 500 fish on the boat. So it was a really good trip. Pretty nice
Yeah, and
quality.
that was your
And
kids
then,
fish free day, right?
yeah, yeah, and then we had a couple cancellations after that. And then the next day we were out. We went out and we still had good fishing, but the conditions were tougher. We were drifting with like a knot and a half of current and quite a bit of wind. And the fishing was nice. We were catching nice fish, just not as fast as the week before.
Some people, I get this question all the time. I know what my answer would be, but I'm going to turn to the real expert here. You, they wonder, is it important what pound tests you fish when you're rock cod fishing? In other words, can you fish 100-pound mono for your tippet material, or does it matter? Does it make a difference?
I don't know that it makes a difference. I can't tell you that it does or doesn't, but I'm just a fan of using like 30 or 40 pound test. You don't want to use something too light because then if you get a nice double, you're gonna keep snapping your rig off every time you bounce a fish over the side, or you know you don't want to use too light a line for sure. But yeah, 30 or 40 pound tests will be plenty fine. I know our excuse me, our rent rods in the landing are on with 30 pound test, and it works just fine, perfectly fine.
Good. And you also, when you rent a rod there, you get you can get a tackle package. And that tackle package is dynamic. It changes from day to day, maybe if you
Yeah,
decide that it should, right?
yeah. So our tackle packs are $20. Our rental rods are also $20, but the rental rods are very nice quality rods. You won't find another landing that has rentals as nice as we do up here in Ventura. They're all brand new. They're all fully backed with Spectra and a short mono top shot, so you can do any kind of fishing. And then, yeah, we communicate with office staff every day, and we let them know what we need in our tackle packs. So if we're gonna go deep water rock fishing, I'll make sure that you guys have 16-ounce sinkers and 3/0 circle hooks in there. If I want to go fish halibut, I'll make sure we have small sinkers and small hooks, and you know maybe a plastic or something. Like we'll communicate with the landing and make sure that you guys have exactly what you need to have the best day possible.
Excellent. Well, you brought up halibut. How's that been going? Has that been getting better and better also?
Yeah, the last time we fished it, we got some. We just we didn't try it on our last 2 trips. One trip I had 50 people. It's pretty hard to fish halibut with 50 people on the boat. It's just not. It's kind of a not a recipe for success. And then the last trip is just tough conditions. I couldn't get to where I wanted to fish. I wanted to go in tight to Santa Cruz over there, and the wind was coming over the top of the island pretty gnarly, and had to kind of hide and try to find some better weather to fish in. But with the nicer weather coming up this week, and looks like we're probably going to get out with a couple light loads, I'd like to spend quite a bit of time doing that.
Awesome. That'll be great. Proper rig for those halibut is going to be dropper loop, right?
Yeah, just a dropper loop, 6-ounce sinker on the bottom, and about 3 or 4 feet above that, you're going to want a long dropper loop, like an 8 to 12 inch dropper loop, with a small little like 1/0 or 2/0 J hook to fish a sardine on. We've got plenty of nice, big, beautiful live bait.
Perfect. That sounds good. Cue Ball is asking the question: are you guys seeing any evidence of white sea bass here recently?
Um, Not locally at Anacapa or Santa Cruz yet, but definitely it's starting at the outer islands and usually follows and comes to Santa Cruz or Anacapa not too long after that. So really hoping to see some of that in the coming weeks here.
So I'm not, I've not fished the Channel Islands that much in my
Mhm.
illustrious career. Is that the natural progression? Starts at the outer islands and then works in?
Yeah, it typically starts, on the front of Rosa or whatever, and then it kind of fills in and spreads out as more squid moves into the local islands. Squid will show up at Anacapa, and the next thing you know, all the day boats are going to be catching sea bass every day. So happens every year. It's gonna shape up soon.
All right, great. What's the squid situation up there?
Very, very scarce right now, but it's coming. We're getting into a new moon phase, and yeah, squid's due to come. It's gonna show up.
Well, you brought up the moon, and there's a ton of people who ask me about that all the time. Do you like fishing the full moon? Do you think it has an adverse effect on fishing? Is it a positive, or you just don't know?
I think the full moon's good for it's good for squid moving in. It's hard for catching squid at night with that extra shine. Kind of makes it hard to float squid at night. But it seems like squid usually moves in on the full moon, and a lot of times the sea bass bite really good like 3 days leading up to it or 3 days after it. Seems like it's a pattern.
Yeah, Tucker told me that, and he was adamant
Yeah,
about that. He said that that was a very good time period to be fishing that stuff. So I've
yeah,
kept my eye on that, and it seems to be true. Buy an adult fare, and the second guy goes for half price.
yeah. During the weekdays, Monday through Friday, we're doing buy one get one 50% off, and then kids fish free Sunday all year long.
The entire month of May. Do I have that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. And I know Dan Lightfoot asked, "Hey, can we go? Can we get a kid on the half fare?" But you can't do that. You got to have a full fare adult, and then the kid goes free.
Correct. Yeah, for Sundays you can bring your kids for free. Absolutely.
So, what's your next day that you're pushing to get out? What's your next day that you think you're going to get out?
I got a few reservations Wednesday, a few Friday, a few Saturday, about 10 Sundays. So if I can get out all those days, that'd be cool. But hoping for at least 3 of those.
Yeah, right for Friday, Saturday, and
Yeah.
Sunday. But man,
Yeah.
if we could get out some of those other days, that would be good. Cue Ball says after the squid bed gets busted up, there's scraps everywhere for days. So that's what he's saying about the sea bass bite up there.
Yeah, the seiners come wrap up a lot of that squid, but they sometimes leave some for leave some for us to put in our bait tanks, and enough for the sea bass to stick around and stay interested. So
That's very nice of them.
yeah, yeah,
All right. Well, shoot, Daniel, anything else? It sounds like the weather's coming around. There's been great rock fishing. I know you've been catching some nice lings at time. You're going to give the howl a bit of shot. We don't think it's all that much longer until the water gets to the point where we're going to be catching surface fish like sand bass and barracuda. And I don't know if people heard me, but there's been some barracuda catches all around you there, all around us here in the Huntington Beach and San Pedro area also. So it just seems like we're pointed in the right direction right now.
yeah, absolutely. And if we can get out on Wednesday, we'll probably try to catch some sand bass. We'll stop by a wreck and do that for a little bit. We drove over it on our way to the island on the last trip, and it looked pretty good. That's something we're kind of interested in trying pretty soon. One more thing wanted to share with you guys is also the Pacific Eagle is open party every day. They're trying to get out on overnight trips targeting sea bass and halibut. And then the Californian is also running the same special that we are on the Island Spirit with the buy one get one 50% off during the week for the month of May.
Yeah, you guys have an incredible fleet up there with the Endeavor, the Pacific Eagle, the Californian, which is the old Matt Walsh, and you
Yeah.
doing such a fine job on the Island Spirit. And then let's not underestimate, and I don't know the whole office personnel, but Saul, he's a great guy, man. I get to
Oh
practice
yeah.
my gringo Spanish with him and give him a big abrazo when I see him. And he's
Yeah.
just such a great guy. I see him working with people up there in the office. He's fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, any special tackle for the sand bass? I mean, do you want people fishing bait, plastics? Should you bring fluorocarbon, lighter line? What do you say?
You'll be fine with like 25-pound test, 30-pound test, same kind of rig, single dropper loop, and we'll have live bait for you guys.
All right, Steve Bermuda says, thank you, Captain, for sharing your knowledge with us. And Mackie says, yeah, sand bass. He's excited about that, man. I am
Oh
too. I
yeah.
love that.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's get this straight, man. Kids Fish Free this Sunday and every Sunday in the month of May, weekdays only. Buy a full fare. Your buddy goes for half price. And the weather forecast is looking really, really good, Daniel. It looks like a great week
Oh
to be
yeah.
fishing out of Ventura sport fishing.
Absolutely, guys. We're ready for you. So make your reservations and come on out.
All right, Daniel, always a pleasure, my friend. Have a great one, and I hope to see
Have a
you
good one, Phil.
soon.
Awesome. Have a good day, guys.
Take care, Daniel.
Bye.